let's keep going. Let's talk to the Watcher. I cannot believe that we just fought Zodiark. After all of this, after 10 years, we just fought Zodiark. What in the world is bigger than this? Like, what? We're, what, a sixth of the way through this even? I don't know what else they can do. I sense his presence on the moon no longer. If you need not follow, then I beg you stay and listen to what I have to tell you. Of Zodiark and the end of all things. Yet, the whole situation, this whole thing does not look good. Does not bode well for the unraveling of all the laws of nature. I am very worried. I am very worried. Before we speak at length, I believe a change of surrounds is in order. I have more than ill tidings to share, you see. I sensed others arriving not long ago. Though my communions with Heidelin have grown infrequent, I have learned enough from her to know these are your comrades. And, as luck would have it, they have already reached my abode. Come, let us join them. The victorious fanfare does feel a little bit inappropriate after, like, and then the whole world truly was going to end. It's like, a little solemnity. Can we maybe a little gravitas in this moment? Because, everything as far as we knew it is about to end, I think. And I'm pretty sure that whatever structures upon reality, I'm still convinced, I'm still half convinced more so than ever that it has to do with our real world thoughts on like sacred geometry, right? These laws, these ideas, that there was this belief that this figure, the demiurge, these creators, this creator that made essentially, okay. My lore video is out so you can go watch it, but this is my thought right now. In this parallel, right, the demiurge are the ancients. So creators who like literally made and gave rise to matter. But one of the things that they also made was known as the anima mundi, or the world soul. Supposedly this, you know, great cosmic being that then could create even more. In the case of like the world of Eorzea and or the setting that we have, it does almost feel like then you kind of combine in some other myths and things where there's this idea of there being, you know, some sort of cosmic soul, literally, like the cosmic heart of the universe that unites all sentient life, and then there being some other force that essentially is in charge of the physical world and laws of reality, right? So as far as ancient Greece went, they believed that the anima mundi, and or there was this whole idea that, you know, some certain factions, not everybody, right, but certain factions kind of believed that with these principles of sacred geometry and all this other kind of stuff, which has kind of been blown up out of proportion over time, but that there was literally like a fingerprint of creation, like of somebody who had decided using conscious, rational rules to impose structure on the universe. Of chaos, the beforehand, all this chaos, all this stuff that was happening, spontaneous existence creation, right? But then said we have to order this and we have to make it exist by certain laws, both mathematical, fantastical, and scientific, right? And so when you hear people talk about stuff like the golden ratio and things like that, it's this belief that because you can see these mathematical or geometric patterns, these ratios, these repeating factors in all of existence, that you can see that something or someone, some entity, something, right, created the universe according to those rules. And by theory, I mean, like, were you to have the same power and you understood that law of creation, you yourself could also create and become as unto gods. But personally, this is just my reading, and maybe things in this expansion are going to totally change it. It feels to me that they've combined this like fantastical element and these real world things to create this sense of How do we give logic without being oppressive about it in this? And Zodiark being an entity that maybe they realized they couldn't just have spontaneous creation at any time at any whim anymore because of whatever happened, that kind of unbound reality into chaos, or, you know, threw their world into some kind of chaos. We still don't know exactly what that was in the ancients that led to the final days. But they created something that, using their own understanding, again, of like the laws of how they themselves made creations and all these different things, they made Zodiark, who then could impose upon the world this sense of structure, order, and logic. If we can make everything tidy and neat, if we can say, like, these are the bounds of reality, then chaos can't transcend those. So that's my guess of what's happening right now. That's probably all very incoherent. As I wrote it more... I hope, more orderly for the script that we did for the Secrets of Charlian video. But that's kind of the way that I'm making sense of what's happened so far. And so now I feel like maybe by Zodiark being gone, the heart of the world, Hydaelyn, the souls of people, all that kind of stuff still exists. The preservation of, again, unique life and the spark of life exists, but the actual laws of reality that were bound and kept in order by Zodiark have been dissipated again, once back, like taking us back to that sense of chaos. These are just my musings. But I think that's kind of what I'm getting has happened, and I'm curious to see if now the Watcher is going to maybe kind of confirm as much? I don't know, but maybe. May we presume this being is a native of the moon? Dare I ask what happened before we arrived? I found an ancient friend! I hope we get to see this friend's face. I want to see it. Thank goodness you are unharmed. We did what we could to subdue the Tempered before making our way here. Not without casualties, unfortunately. Some few detonated explosives, killing themselves and others. The contingent healers had their hands full tending to the injured and enthralled when we took our leave. Lest you wonder, Mistress Kryle hath also been delivered unto their care. Serving as a conduit for Hydaelyn's power hath taken its toll, but she will recover in due course. As for Alphino and Alice, they insisted on remaining in Garlemald, while we three rushed to your aid. It appears, however, that matters here have already come to a conclusion. Or something, as they all just stare at the Ancient. But what manner of conclusion, if I may ask? And is this the ally whom Hydaelyn bade you seek out? He is not unlike the shades of Amorot. Not unlike, perhaps, but not the same. I was created by Hydaelyn, together with this place. It has ever been my duty to keep vigil over Zodiark. Or rather, it was my duty. Okay, so this is not actually an ancient that has been given immortal life. This is a construct of Hydaelyn's make. And then you will not believe what happened. Yeah. Then Zodiark is no more. Yeah, but what about the shades in him? I am incredibly worried. I mean, reality just dissipating very bad, but after the Hythlodius reveal, my heart is broken right now. And not without consequence, I am afraid. For now the delicate weave of the star, preserved by his presence, will begin to unravel. If you mean to avert the final days, you shall have need of... Are you all right? My attempts to forestall Zodiark's release have all but exhausted my strength. If you might allow me to rest a short while, I will share with you all I can. Please do. You need not exert yourself on our account. These crystals contain records of your time here, yes? May we peruse them while you wait? By all means. If you would review them chronologically, might I suggest, beginning with those on the upper floor. I shall leave you to that, Valka, while I see what can be gleaned from the crystals on these lower levels. You're all gonna have to bear with me a little bit if my voice is a little croaky today. After like 4 days straight, are we at 5 days straight yet? No, but yes! Oh my, no, we're not. We're not quite at a full week yet. It has been a lot of days of a lot of talking, but don't worry, I'm staying hydrated, I'm resting, I'm recouping. But everybody might just have a little bit of an extra gruffness today. You know, it's just because it's because so much has happened. Pray, review the records of the upper floor. Flower. Pray, darling, review the records of the upper floor. Pray, review the records on the upper floor, and I will see if there is aught to be learned down here. Are you okay, big friend? Are you okay, big buddy? A moment longer, friend. I want to know if the Watcher is somebody that we know something of, right? Did Hydaelyn, did Vinat bring back the shade of someone that she once loved? Is it us? Were we besties? Were we secretly besties? Because that would absolutely devastate me if at the end Vinat was like, you and I were inseparable, but now I will die. And I went, no! I already lost Emmett. I already lost Hyclodius. Please don't make me remember that I once loved you. Elidibus. Zodiac defeated. While he may have been in an incomplete state, that's nevertheless an impressive feat. But even if you hadn't, his demise was inevitable. Fandaniel would have seen to it one way or another. That said, he probably would have wielded Zodiac's power to wreak untold destruction before taking his own life, making this the better of two unfavorable outcomes. Oh, I love that little additional ending they put into this. This melody, right? This is a slightly reinterpreted Amarant theme, but then to add that little bit on the end, I don't remember it from the original, but it feels like this is the end, you know? This is the end of their legacy. Musically, you can hear that dramatic finale, you know? Dost thou suppose our host hath maintained his solitary vigil since the very beginning, without rest or relief? If so, these records comprise the sum total of his existence. We must needs handle them with care. That's what I was planning on doing. I promise I will treat this boy right. He is a good boy. Dimly glowing crystal. Okay, so this is the very first one, it looks like. Tell me your story, Watcher. As you gaze into the crystal, ancient knowledge of Zodiac flows through your mind. Daily summary. No abnormalities detected. These appear to be records of a long, lonely vigil on the moon, dating back to the beginning of Zodiac's imprisonment. I do like that they've combined a little bit, again, of this almost technological or advanced like modern edge with also the fantasy edge, and then you can kind of see how things like the Allegan Empire, or even stuff like Sage in Charlian, if we're assuming that there's some connection there, right? But this merging that is so iconic to Final Fantasy of this technology and this magical element, having these kinds of logs and stuff like that, it feels very scientific as opposed to, you know, a magician writing whimsical poetry about their time spent on the moon. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge of past calamities flows through your mind. The records describe how with each rejoining, Zodiac's thirst for freedom grew, as did the strain on the brands. Maintaining Zodiac's imprisonment appears to tax Hydaelyn greatly. I don't think anybody's dialogue is different, but let's check. No, okay. Warmly glowing. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge goes into your mind of the rejoinings. The records describe the Watcher's efforts to prepare in the event Zodiac broke free from his prison. The records go on to describe maintenance carried out regularly with the Loporrits, though it is not clear who or what they are. That's where our little moon bunnies come in. As you gaze into the crystal, a record of an unexpected visitor flows through your mind. The records note the Watcher's musings, when Elidipus is spotted on the moon, though clearly not for the first time. It is clear he and his brethren have a keen interest in freeing Zodiac from his prison, and yet they have made no attempt to destroy the brands. Perhaps they prefer he remain hidden from mortal eyes until the final rejoining. Perhaps they realize we would never dare bring harm to Zodiac, so long as he remains imprisoned. Yeah, they used to just come up here for depressing visits, thinking about the ghosts of all the people they lost. No wonder I mean, look, the Ascians have, I think, become tragic figures, right? As opposed to just straight-up villains. Did you learn anything of import? So it is as we suspected. Maintaining the brands requires a great deal of her energy and focus, and this cost has grown higher with every rejoining. That would explain why contact with her has become rather infrequent since the 7th Umbral Calamity. I too made a rather startling discovery. This heavenly body we know to be the moon was in fact created by Hydaelyn. When the Watcher said he was created together with this place, I thought he only meant this facility. Truly, Hydaelyn's powers are far beyond anything I could have imagined. I'm just so ready to learn more about everything. With the Ancients, with us as a Zem, I just want every scrap of information they're willing to give us. Friend, we would let you just take as long as you need. You rest up. And I like how they've built off of the lore, right? The idea of what the crystals are used for, the idea of being able to store memories, or, you know, all those kinds of things, even soul crystals, right? It feels like they've done a good job of bringing everything together with how these records could be stored.
The records stored here are nothing short of extraordinary. There is much we could learn of Zodiac and his imprisonment, but perhaps you could offer us more focused guidance. Pray, tell us of the calamity that came before and comes now again.
Please, we need more details to deal with this. Story time! Story time! I'm gonna actually read these ones too, I think, because this seems really important. Long ago, before the Great Sundering, there was but a single world, Etheris. One day, from within the earth, a terrible cry issued forth, affecting a profound change in all manner of life. We were not exempt. Our creation magics ran rampant, giving shape and form to thoughts of hopelessness and despair. So this we knew. At first, the phenomenon was limited to a single region, but quickly, so very quickly, it spread and engulfed the whole of the star.
Were the Ancients ever able to deduce its source?
I mean, that's the big question, right? Is that the big bad? That has to be the big bad, right? They were not. However, the Convocation struck upon a method to predict where the next corruption would manifest. Oh, the corruption. Oh, no. No, is Hydaelyn gonna get corrupted? If this is like a corruption that affects the Earth and warps and twists all life, Not our girl. I'm pretty convinced that Heidelin's actually super good. I'm pretty convinced now. The etheric energies would flow through all of creation in the form of various currents. The live stream. There's actually a way to see them or map them. I mean, you can see them, right? So those who are sensitive to it can actually see and perceive them. But to have something like a full map of all of them, that is really exciting. The currents which course through the land and seas. So again, the live stream, that all goes back to the source, Heidelin, and or the ethereal sea where Heidelin resides. And yes, if it all got polluted, it's very possible that she could too. Those which flow through the very air, and those of a celestial nature, which encompass both our star and this moon. No! Which encompass both our star and this moon. Okay, just our star and this moon, so not the entire cosmos then. I think it seems like it's contained specifically here.
Celestial currents. I cannot say I am familiar with the concept.
Nor would I expect you to be. Few scholars of our time knew of their existence. Their invaluable knowledge helped us to better understand the nature of the calamity. Like the terrestrial ones of earth and air, the celestial currents form a vast network. But the ethereal distribution is not consistent. The convocation soon realized that the inciting incidents occurred in regions where the flow was weakest. Correlation without clear cause, ultimately. Nevertheless, on closer study, a stagnancy of ether was observed in nearby currents.
And so they sought a means to harness the forces of darkness, of activity and growth. Thus was Zodiac conceived.
Oh, interesting. So that they could, in those areas, like, reinvigorate the ether?
No less a power than a god's could set right the laws of nature and quicken the flow of ether within the star.
Interesting. Precisely. With the advent of Zodiac, our end was averted. This does throw a big, interesting loop, or I guess wrench. It's not really a wrench, it's just something additional.
Did so because they saw Zodiac's power as a threat. Is that true?
That does add like a whole nother dimension to this whole discussion, right? Indeed. There was a faction opposed to Zodiac's creation, but their aim was never to unmake him. They understood the continued preservation of the natural order was dependent on his very existence, until we could identify and address the underlying cause of the final days. He would need remain, for his departure would set in motion those apocalyptic forces once more. Heidelin recognized this as well, and so, rather than destroy, she sundered Zodiac, herself, and the star into lesser reflections, that she might confine him in this place. I could have sworn she beseeched me to banish the darkness. This is something I've been curious about, because when I was doing some research for various things, I did go back to the anti-tower cutscenes, and while I think you can still loosely tie it together, right? There is still something there where you can go like, oh yes, this is it still vaguely works. Maybe she was just being obtuse for some reason. It definitely, I mean, it was a different time in the game. They didn't have a lot of stuff, I think, fully formed in what they wanted to do with it, right? Then what she told me in the Ethereal Sea was false? That the two once dwelled as one, until Zodiac grew hungry for power, upsetting the balance betwixt them. Not quite a lie, though a rather gross embellishment. But, knowing what you know now, you must surely realize why she might opt to obfuscate and mislead. Heidelin and Zodiac are both constructs of man, approximations of perfection, limited by our own imperfections. Zodiac was, without question, the more powerful of the two, having been born from the sacrifice of half Aetheris' population. Thus was it necessary for Heidelin to commit herself wholly to his defeat. Still more effort was needed to confine him. I like seeing how the pace of either line kind of lines up. I wonder if you were directly reading it like in Japanese compared to this voice, if it would match up almost exactly in pacing. Maintaining the brands taxed her greatly. With what power she dared spared, she cried out to any who might listen, and offered her blessing to those who heeded her call. Though it was likely within her power to do so, I believe she did not wish to speak of Aetheris and her history. I mean, it also would have been hard, right? Like, here's the thing. Some of this, I believe, is probably a clever retcon, right? In that when a lot of this stuff was being written, there may have been some clear endgame goals, again, on how they wanted to structure this 10 years, but very specific things may not have been worked out. We don't even really know when the whole idea of Amarot, the Ancients, everything truly came into solidified being as something they were directing towards, you know? So, in that regard, it's very likely that when they wrote Heidelin's kind of vague speech that she gives you, they literally were just thinking about this in a more simplistic way, or maybe they were drawing even on 11 and some of the stuff that happens there with similar, you know, dualities and things like that. It could have been, like, I think just a lot of things, but I also can see how you could justify from, you know, a looking back kind of standpoint that even if she had explained to us at that point, would we as an individual truly have had any bearing of understanding? No, you know what I mean? In a way, she was almost just speaking to us in a way that we would understand by, like you do with children's tales, right? By making certain very complex ideas into simpler, just, you know, here's the big sweeping thing, you know? Oh yes, once upon a time, we were all part of the same energy, but then, oh no, Zodiac bad, so I had to sunder him, you know? It feels like you could make, I think, a strong argument about that if you want to, again, I think give them some grace and look at the larger flow of everything. And it is really, I think, a good detail that they addressed it, at least here, as opposed to just saying, oh, whoops, and just never mentioning it in game. So, I mean, they obviously are very clearly conscious of all the different beats they've worked in. Like Zodiac, Heidelin's purpose is a reflection of her creators. They wished to look to the future and not linger in a prison of the past.
The Ascians set in motion 7 rejoinings before we came to oppose them. How many more worlds would have been lost had we not placed our faith in her?
Probably a whole lot.
How many more souls living in the present would have been snuffed out for the sake of those long dead?
I mean, there's an argument to be made about cherishing the past and people lost and people loved, but I mean, yeah, the world has moved on, time has changed. There's a whole nother massive swath of life, probably even far greater in number than the ancients between all the shards. You can't just get rid of those lives because those in the past maybe would have a different future given the chance.
I see no reason to doubt your words. And even if Hydaelyn is not a god in truth, if Minfilia believed that we should trust in her plans, then I choose to do just that.
Oh.
Which brings me to a rather important question. Let's suppose we try but fail to stop this second coming of the final days.
Yeah, how do we deal with this when the ancients and their peak of glory couldn't? This is the real test between Emmett's stand, and our viewpoints, right? Are you worthy? Can you do what we couldn't?
Should the source fall, what will become of the other worlds?
I mean, everything will just be destroyed, right? Seems like it. The nomenclature is more fitting than you know. Bring ruin to the source, and its reflections will share in its fate. It is ready. What's ready? The moon whale! They're gonna make the lunar whale canonical, right? This way, if you would be so kind. Is this, was this an eventuality that over the course of all their lifespans, Hydaelyn and/or this entity foresaw, and they tried to do something to help them or aid them? Oh, it's that thing! A beautiful sight, is it not? What is it?
Yes, but what is it?
Good question, Stola. I'm curious too. Hydaelyn knew better than any that her power was not absolute. Indeed, she has ever struggled to hold Zodiark and his faithful at bay. She feared the worst, and so made preparations. In the event of his demise, there would be a contingency. This moon is more than a prison. It is a vessel capable of bearing the people of Aetheris to safe harbor. Like another planet? Is that what the Sharlayans are preparing for? You need not go far to find its pilots. In fact, I should be happy to take you to them and fulfill my final duty as Watcher in the dark. It has to be. That has to be what the Sharlayans are preparing for, right? The Ark? They're just gonna sail to some distant star, kind of like Midgardstormer did with his brood. Try and get away from this place and find safe harbor elsewhere. Oh, I have a lot to think about and chew on now. I'm gonna wait until we get the full picture of everything that's happened, right? It seems like from that, the takeaway that I would get is that... Okay, this is my thought, right? My takeaway from that is that Zodiark just quickened parts of stagnant ether in the world? That would be the extreme simplification, right? I personally still feel like there has to be more to it than that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It feels like there has to be more to it than just that. So we'll see. I mean, I guess maybe you could just break it down into extreme simplification with this idea that, yes, maybe this celestial plane, this otherworldly plane of the life stream and the energy forces of life that were happening, were like dying and going stagnant, and that for some reason caused the spontaneous the spontaneous summoning and things like that. Because we do know that, at least from what we've seen of sprites, right? They confirmed with some of the patch stuff leading up to this that in places where ether has stagnated, these little sprites appear, these little manifestations appear and seem to lash out almost, which is interesting because you wouldn't think in a stagnant area that would be the case. You would think everything would go like still and dead, right? But maybe it just meant that with extreme stagnation, again, the sensitivity to thought and other stuff like that led to spontaneous creation happening. So that by quickening those areas, right, and by constantly keeping things, at least in a celestial ethereal plane, in motion, that it prevented spontaneous manifestations? I guess that would be the simplest theory that I would have surrounding it. But it does kind of seem maybe a little too simple. Maybe this is just me hoping I can continue to shoehorn my thoughts and ideas about the physical versus soul planes and all that kind of stuff, but I think that would be the simplest essence of what I would examine for this. I don't know. We'll keep thinking about it. Let's keep going. I really want to push through. I should very much like to hear more of this extraordinary story. It may be true, but others will struggle to believe it. I can scarcely believe it myself. The moon is a ship. Well, now I've heard everything. Well, Thancred, we shouldn't be too surprised. This seems fairly par for the course. The time is come for you to be on your way. The crater at the heart of Mare Lamentorum, where Zodiac was imprisoned, is not so easily traversed, however. Let us call upon Argos, the familiar whom you met earlier. He should have no trouble bearing you across. Good boy, Dago! As Hydaelyn created me as the jailer, so too did she create Argos as the guard. It is his nature to appear when needed, and yet he is nowhere to be found. Strange. Mayhap the imbalancing of ether has affected him. Let us make for the crushing brand, and attempt to call upon him there. You need but recall the path you walked with Argos before, and you will find your way. If he labors in service to Hydaelyn's plan, I see no reason not to do as he suggests. Shall we make for this crushing brand, then? Let's go! We made it! With a little preparation, it might be possible to traverse the gap on foot. Then again, it would be a long, long way down if one should slip. Perhaps another time. So close and yet so far. Does not the harsh terrain remind you of somewhere we've been before? The Drovanian Forelands, aye. A place that rejects the intrusion of outsiders, where solitude reigns supreme. At the very least, it sounds suitable for Zodiac's prison. Naught could prepare me for the boundless beauty of Aetheris, shining, shimmering amidst a sea of stars. A blue sapphire and but one of countless other jewels brimming with life, no doubt. Implying many other planets everywhere? We go into space in the future? The place we seek is just ahead at the Chlorophosgrot. You see, Argos cannot manifest without sufficient concentrations of ambient ether. You would be hard-pressed to find a greater confluence than inside this cavern. Follow me. Good thing I explored this earlier! I peeked down in here. The creatures in this area, in this little cave, are actually really, really interesting. They delight me in the same way that the tiny, skinny, well, they're not tiny, the skinny ballerina cactars do. Like, what? Weeper. Oh, it just looks like a dinosaur fossil that somehow has been illuminated from the inside with ether and animated, you know? Okay, we're gonna have to fight this guy, I think. But they're also maybe a little bit, maybe I see like a little bit of an Alien, like Alien the movie design in there with some of the faceplate area. Oh, it's just, they're very strange and I love it. Seeing something that's so different, life forms that are completely beyond what we would expect, makes me really pumped for the future and the possibilities of design and all kinds of diversity and things that we could get in future worlds or future places here. This entire cave is thrumming with ambient ether. Alas, any future analysis will have to wait. The god of Zodiac's prison, eh? Blood-red eyes, slavering maw, and built like a behemoth, I'd imagine. Let's hope he's friendly. Oh no, he's a very good boy! Curious. This place doth call to mind Pla Annie, home of the Pneumo. Yes, here will do nicely. The lunar spongoid draw ether from the ground, which is then dispersed into the air. At present, however, the ambient energies are not quite sufficient for Argos to manifest. Might you be willing to spare some of your own to help the spongoid along? Yeah, give some, why not? Oh, that's why they're doing it over here. Lunar spongoid! Let me make this fungus extra glowy. I always do like a good glowy, you know, motes of light dancing through the air kind of zone. Hello, Papo! Hello, good boy, goodest boy. This is the real Cerberus. Argos manifests in a flash. He seems glad to see you again. You're a good dog, Argos. A most fascinating creation of Heidelin's, would you not agree? Should the need arise, he is even able to create reflections of himself on a whim. Though I assure you it was no reflection which accompanied you earlier to the brand. No, Argos was quite eager to be at your side then, as he is now, it seems. I cannot recall when last he showed such affinity for anyone. Indeed, I thought him more likely to shy away from you and your companions. Perhaps it was more than a sense of duty that compelled him to aid you before. Hold on. Okay. We can assume Azem was not Vinat, right? Unless they are gonna pull some wild, I don't know, swapperoonie on us where they were one and the same or something, I don't know. Vinat maybe being Azem's real name before they assumed the actual seat of Azem, that could be a thing, and it could be that maybe we are a shard of Vinat slash Azem slash whatever, right? It feels more likely to me that it would have been that we were really good friends. And maybe that's why Vinat chose us as her chosen, and or why Argos seems so happy to see us. But again, who knows? We don't know. But there is kind of an interesting parallel here with the idea of Argos made me think of... Oh my gosh, why can't I remember the good boy's name? Ardbert and... most beautiful, purest... Seto. It reminds me a little bit of that, right? That affinity of, like, a creature or entity that is fond of you. Who knows? As for your companions... they also get puppos! Unexpected, but greatly appreciated. I believe we are all ready. Then let us return outside, that you may cross the chasm. Let's go! If you do not get an Argos mount from this zone, I am gonna have words with Square Enix. You gotta get that, good boy. It feels like this would be something you could earn. Maybe if you do bicolor gemstones, there's like a baby version of it. A little puppo, a little puppy version. That'd be very cute. Let's get on our Amara. I have so many... Fam, I'm not gonna lie. If at any point you just see me go like... It's not because I am bored. It is because my head right now is full of so many thoughts about so many things that have been revealed that I'm just over here like... Must compute, must put it all together. Argos favors you with what could almost be described as a conspiratorial grin. To whom would Hydaelyn entrust the command of so grand a vessel, I wonder? Charlian. Probably, right? I was expecting something a little more intimidating and less man's best friend. Dalamud has long been described as the loyal hound of Menfina due to its relation to the Greater Moon. It seems highly improbable, if not impossible, for ancient peoples to have known of Argos. But now I wonder whether there is some connection. Your destination is the structure there across the Cradle of Darkness. But climb onto Argos's back, and he will take care of the rest. Once you arrive, it should not take long to find the ship's crew. The facility is designed to rouse them from their slumber in the event of Zodiac's destruction. Heed their counsel. Together, you may guide the star and its people to a far kinder fate. This is where we part ways. But know that I shall ever be watching and praying for your success. Thank you, Watcher. I love you. Watcher, I love you. I appreciate you. Let's go, good boy. Oh, I gotta talk to Ishola first. Our allies' assurances notwithstanding, we cannot be certain what awaits us on the other side, so perhaps it would be best if we did not all go at once. I propose the two of us cross the first, while Thancred and Urianger wait here. Yes, 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 yes! Girlfriend ride on space dogs, this is my dream come true. Thanks, Final Fantasy! I'm just gonna take some cool screenshots, don't mind me! I'm gonna ride on this space dog with my space wife. This is really, I've gotta be real. Square Enix knows what I want, and it's this. I do love dogs, I do love Y'shtola, I do love Fantastical New Horizons, aka the moon, just a little further. So this really is what I came for, this expansion. This is what I am here for. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Big doors! This very much reminds me of the entrance to the Crystal Tower. Bow, bow. This structure is enormous, though that is hardly surprising, given the size of the average Moritine. Apologies for the wait. Right then, let us head inside and... Oh? Even more dogs. Dogs on dogs on dogs on dogs. This is the world we can all only hope becomes the final world. A world full of good dogs that we can all love. Most intriguing. A means by which he conserveth energy, mayhap? Well, I certainly wouldn't want him to blink out of existence on our account, helpful as he's been. Where's my "you're a good boy, stay here" option? Thank you, Argos. I missed the second half of that line, I forgot it. You're a good boy. I fixed it, I got it. If Argos is to remain without, let us not keep him waiting over long. He's gonna need some water, he's gonna need a little doggo snack, so we gotta make sure that we take care of him. We now have a new adopted dog. you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing it? Oh my gosh, I didn't think this was what was going to be underneath that pipe organ up top. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, jeez. Jeez. This is phenomenal. Wow, how far down does it go? Oh, oh, okay. All right. It's a ramp. We can go down there. What? Whoa. The swirly spiral all the way up through it. This is... They just took the designs to a whole nother level, this expansion. Look at this place. You can see all these little tiny tidbits in it. It's like they've combined so many different things in the design and inspiration. The Ancients, Amarot, a little bit of that Allegan feel, so you can kind of see how Alleg might have learned what they learned and developed technology like they did through Emmet Selk. This is just the scale. Okay, let's go talk to everybody. My mind has been blown and I'm okay with it. Truly a marvel beyond description. I agree. Urianger at once is at a loss for words. You know this is good. Its scale is reminiscent of Amarot, or rather, the replica we visited on the first. This is just the coolest. This is just the coolest. Whoa, that thing in the back. Oh, geez. The artists absolutely have to applaud you.
Our pilot should be around here somewhere. Is that right?
I have to applaud all of the artists and concept artists and everybody that worked on this. Wow. It's a whole bunch of Loporrits. I like how they've put this little suspense music in here, like we don't know that there's a bunch of moon rabbits that are up here. He's in a little sealed chamber. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hydaelyn is precious and must be protected. Hydaelyn's like, what do I make to save the whole world? A bunch of adorable moon rabbits. What do I make to oversee Zodiark's prison? A really good dog. Like a really beautiful, really good dog. Venat must have been a really lovely person. I just get that sense. Look at how small they are. They're so small in their little faces. I just want to squish their cheeks. They got luscious eyelashes. Oh my gods. These tiny bunnies will kill me.
Look lively, everyone.
Oh, I want to boop in a little snoot.
I know. This 1,243rd inspection is a mite ahead of schedule, but it is of the utmost importance. For Zodiark, alas, is no more.
They're so practical.
As of now, our mighty moon has a new purpose: to bear the people of Aetheris to safety.
They still haven't mentioned, though, what happened to all the spirits inside of Zodiark. I was really hoping maybe they got put somewhere.
My friends.
I'm gonna help you do anything. I'm gonna help you all grow and thrive and live. Anyone tries to harm you,
We
I'm
must
gonna
be
murder
swifter
them.
than swift. There is much to do before our guests arrive.
Yeah,
I
Charlene
expect
is
your
totally
workstation
preparing to
be
come up here.
immaculate. And don't forget to relay our signal to Aetheris.
But here's the thing again, though, right? Why do they deserve to be saved and not everyone else? Like, are they preparing for everyone to come up here? Because it truly does not seem like it. It truly seems like they believe that Charlene, has been groomed or is in the best position to set the future of mankind. One free of conflicts, one guided by wisdom. And it's like, that's not okay. All life has a right. all life has a right, you know? It's not just you, and other people deserve the chance to learn and grow and change. And if you just hoard your principles and knowledge and you don't actually share and try to make any change in the world, then you're not so much a utopia, are you? Because you might have a little utopia, but what about every other person? And is your utopia really so ideal? I don't know.
Questions? Yes? No? Maybe so? No? Then hop to it!
I love that. The moon was full of some really intense stuff and also some ridiculously adorable stuff. Go on, little buns. Valka's like, they're like children.
'Tis a rather curious crew she hath chosen. Their endearing forms intended to ease the passengers' hearts, perhaps.
Yeah, or, you know, this is just what Vanat's into. She's just like, I'm gonna make cute things that make me happy. I'm delighted by these, so I'm gonna make them. Very good. Okay, let's go talk to these bunnies. Let's go talk to my new thousands upon thousands of children that I have. I'm just imagining Valka in like a field of these tiny buns, just like, these are my children. If you come near them, I will kill you. I find Urianje's reasoning somewhat flimsy, but the crew seems amicable enough. Given the present crisis, Heidelin doubtless sought to facilitate cooperation betwixt pilot and passenger. Indeed, indeed. 'Twould require a heart as hard as diamond to raise one's voice in anger to beings possessed of such profound saccharinity. Sweetness. Thancred's dumbfounded expression suggests he is still struggling to comprehend the spectacle he has just witnessed. Oh, I comprehend it, Thancred, and I am absolutely in heaven right now. This is hilarious and adorable and amazing. They must be the Loporrits mentioned in the Watcher's records. Not at all what I expected, but the Watcher did bid us heed their counsel. I assume the one who gave that rousing speech was their leader, though we might have to ask about in order to track them down. Wait, hold on. I see. I assume the one who gave that rousing speech was their leader, though we might have to ask about in order to track them down. Come on then, let us be about it. Let's go talk to these tiny, flawless creations. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to say that buns are supreme and all buns, best buns, but, I mean, did you see how cute they were? And I think even our large-scale, more monstrous buns, our people buns, even better. And also butt's good. I guess I couldn't say buns that many times without also just committing. Butt's also good. But in this case, bunnies, rabbits. The Loporrits all appear to have set about their tasks. Whither is their leader, I wonder? Bunnies, bunnies. Jeez. This is very good. I'm gonna attune to this crystal because it's definitely an aetherite, right? It definitely is, so we can go in here. Oh, this whole place is good. The music, too. It reminds me of something like, I don't know, a suite for a Disney film is what I'm getting from it. I only saw them from a distance, but their fur was brown, if that helps at all. Splitting Way! They have very cute names, too! I can hardly believe that we'll finally have people here! I just hope we'll be ready for the influx of guests! I hope so, too! You're gonna be fine. You're as Crushing Way would say it, crushing it. So, what are you lazing about? We'll never be ready for our guest arrival if you keep working at that pace! I love the moon bunnies. It's also delightful that they do have them up here. There's a whole myth in a lot of different cultures, but particularly like Japan as well, where there are supposedly rabbits on the moon or rabbits that make mochi. So it makes sense that there would be little rabbits up here. And I really hope that we get them as our tribe for this expansion, because I want to do all sorts of tasks for them. Nothing for it, only one thing to be done. Scrap it all and start over. I'm thinking of spending a night outside Beastway's burrow, but I'm not sure what I'll need to take with me. Aside from a tent, I suppose. His name is Camping Way. What? Did she give them all little personalities and they took their names from them? Like, what is happening? It's amazing. Such a fascinating apparatus, though it's hard to believe it could house so many crew members. Even so, there's nothing else here to suggest other types of accommodation. Oh, is this like a little house? Oh, no, you mean the little sleeping pods? Oh, very good. Everything here is very good. And I am very invested in it. I'm looking around for more NPCs so that we can see if there's any more dialogue from these good little bun boys. I don't see anything there. Oh, you know, this group has some guiding way. Maybe they each were kind of given a little task or purpose, and their names reflect that. Something to help or, like, teach the people that get resettled, or... Do you need help with something? I'm busy assigning duties at the moment. Yeah, guiding way, they're the one that's, like, guiding. Weaving way. What do you think of our clothing? I'll have you know I'm the mastermind behind its design. You did so good. You're all so cute. You look perfect in your little matching uniforms. Oh, there's so many of them and they're so tiny. I want to scoop them up in my arms and just hold as many as I can. I want to try and get 10 whole buns in my arms. You'll let me know if you find any unusual trinkets or contraptions, won't you? I've always had a fondness for such things, you see. Oh, there's a little house for them to live in. Please let me go inside. I beg of you. I want to see where they live. Oh my gosh. All the crystals in here too. Wow. This is... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Would you look at that? We've got the big kind of nautilus shell thing. That looks very much like that section that we saw right down in Charlian. That the forbidden section, it very much has the same kind of shape and feel like with the rotation and stuff. Okay, where am I actually going? I'm so distracted. I needed to do that loop, and it was very important. It really was, truthfully. But I think we gotta go up here. And, oh, we've got repair boys. Oh! Chipper Loporrit. There's our gemstone trader. Trading way. They totally were given different purposes. Saw all the fun the traders and Aetherius were getting up to, and I thought to myself, hey, I could do that. So here I am, eagerly awaiting your patronage and bi-color gemstones. You get a little Luna Tender Blossom. Oh, there's so many fighting way. The leader of the crew? Not me, I'm afraid. Singing Way's my name. I'm in charge of the construction and maintenance of the atmospheric circulation system. Only the crispest, cleanest air for the people of Aetherius, and that's a promise. Can I jump on this? Aha! No! And then I can go across. We can get this ether current. Dancing away. Okay, now hear me out. Possible inspiration for this whole thing. Hydaelyn / Venat, Sleeping Beauty. All these tiny bunnies, Sleeping Beauty, like the dwarves. I'm sorry, not Sleeping Beauty. Oh my gosh, I'm such a goof. Snow White. Snow White and the 7 Dwarves. Snow White and all the little buns are the 7 dwarves, but like 5,000 dwarves. 5,000 bunnies. That is very much what I'm getting here. I heard that you're kind to harp about when they hear music. Is that true? Can you turn it off? I I love the little animals. Oh, eat your carrots. Huggy. Their little animations are perfect. I've decided to form a fellowship of protectors to escort people as they arrive. So relax, you and yours are in safe paws. Very, very safe paws. I'm going to die of cuteness. This might be the end of our playthrough of the MSQ, because I might not make it. I didn't think it would end like this. But I'm okay with it. If this is how it has to be, that's fine. That's fine. I feel pretty good about it, actually. That one's also eating a carrot. Eating a carrot too. That one's eating a carrot too. Do you see the little way that their ears wobble as they stand around and they're like beep beep beep? Oh. Okay, we even have a sleepy. All right. It has to be. It has to be. Leader? No. Sleeping away. My job is perhaps I'd better ask. It has to be a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs reference here. Come on. It's gotta be. They're all named after their tasks and or what they're known for. We go all the way across. I do like these weird little orbs with like the wings. They remind me of fairies almost. But it feels very distinctive, and yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, recording way. Done that. I don't think we did this one. Oh my, but isn't this exciting? I've never seen one of your kind up close before. Would you mind if I take some measurements of your body? Just for reference, of course. Snappy Loporrit. This one's a little mean. Or just has a lot to get done and doesn't have time to mess around. Oh, it's the leader! I just want to pinch the little soft fur at the top of their ears. What? How in the... When did you get here? Who let you in? Why wasn't I told? Take me to your leader. That would absolutely impart who had directed us here. Were you the one giving orders earlier? Me? Oh, yes, of course. As the only one around here capable of doing anything properly, it falls to me to take charge of the others. Well. Looks like you beat us here. Your friends, I take it? Is this all of them? A group comprised entirely of children? What must their parents be thinking? This isn't a nursery after all, though perhaps we should build one. Or did we build one already? No matter. You needn't worry your pretty little heads. All will be well, I promise. But goodness me, we shouldn't be standing about gulping. I must take you to meet the others. Now here's a thought. What if we think that we're gonna save everything, but in reality, at the end of this entire story, we just end up loading as many different people from different worlds as possible into this one spaceship and then just set off for a new world? That would be... You just like watch everything get destroyed. There's no way, because then you wouldn't be able to go back to the other zones and things like that without it just breaking everything. There's no way. No. Okay, I think I've nixed that idea, but that would have actually completely dumbfounded me. Like, I would have mind blown at the end of all of this, just gone, they did that. If you could run along back towards the entrance, you'll find a path that leads to the central platform on the upper floor. There's no wrong way to reach it, but it's the large glowing ball at the center if you should find yourselves lost. I shall gather the others and meet you there. Yes, we're all children. Well then, back to the upper floor it is. Here we go! I am very glad that they allowed you to mount in here. Oh, nothing way. Oh, nothing way, no! No! You're too cute to be thinking these existential crisis thoughts. We're all going to die someday. So what if it happens a little sooner? I will protect. I will protect that one. I'm gonna particularly protect that one. We did splitting away with the other ones. We're gonna go all the way up top now. Their little stacked housing. I wonder if you can drop down onto the different tiers of the housing. Hunting way? Oh, you totally can. All right, let's do it. Maybe from up here? Hee hee hee. Whee! If I had to count for every time I've woken up to find the monsters outside have multiplied, I'd be able to crush them under the weight of my carrot empire. The moon will never be safe at this rate. I hope that one day Hunting Way gets to have the carrot empire that they've always dreamed of. That's my great hope for them. That would really be the happiest possible ending here for Final Fantasy XIV. Picking way? Did we do picking way? I think we did. Maybe? Maybe. Oh! Yes. I did indeed go the wrong way. Does this lead anywhere? Let me go out there? No, 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 no. And you can't actually take those up. Oh, okay, we gotta go to the other side. It turns out there is a wrong way to get up top, and the wrong way to get up top is this way. Which, you know, is in character for me, because I am the worst at navigating ever. My gosh, this place is huge. Oh, oh. Hurry now! Time is of the essence! To the next job! Quickly now! We're certainly on the move now! Wait for me, I beg you! That was cute! I really do think that they've upped the amount of NPCs that are moving around that seem to spawn or have little things, little random tracks they'll run or little things that'll pop up. And it really does make a lot of these areas feel so much more alive and dynamic. More like you really are in the middle of a moment where entities or creatures or people actually live wobbling away. Oh, dear. I hadn't expected to meet a people person here. Ooh, whatever shall I do? Me? Well, speaking to me? Oh, but of course. I'll answer any questions you may have. Who are you? I'm the manager and operator of the Central Control Sphere. It regulates every single facility here in Bestways Borough. Burrow! That's the name of a, like a hole or where rabbits would live. Although technically a warren would be, I think, what you would call, like, the system that they make their home. But a burrow would be kind of like the little entrance and the little entryway into it, I think. If anything were to happen to it, the whole place would stop working in no time. It's very important, and so is my job. What is this place? Bestways Burrows is where we Loporrits live and work in honor of Hydaelyn. We're all doing our best to make the moon a suitable ship to transport everyone. You'll be able to ride someday soon, don't you worry. That would also explain why the moon itself has an atmosphere that is breathable in gravity and stuff like that. If there's going to be a lot of people that are being brought up here, it makes sense. Visitors at last. Welcome.
Right, of course. Introductions are in order. My name is Livingway, and we are the Loporrits, created for the express purpose of commanding this ship and bearing the people of Atheris to a brave new world.
And you are perfect in every way.
More specifically, I am the one whom she charged with the execution of her most vital plans. You might say I'm her right paw. Livingway's the name, map reader and navigator of the heavens.
Pleasure to meet you all. But I'm still trying to make sense of this.
The tonal shifts have been really well paced, I think, right? We have these moments of like extreme seriousness, this expansion, contrasted with these humorous moments, upbeat moments, lighthearted things, agonizing sweetness and adorableness like this. It has been a good, it doesn't feel like we sit stagnant in any one emotional landscape too long, even if the story is pretty long and it takes a fair bit to move through it, you know?
Confusion and bewilderment are completely understandable. Fear not. I shall walk you through it.
Thanks, Living Way. Oh no, I didn't turn off my sound effects!
The people of Aetherius, through no fault of your own, I'm sure, set in motion a series of events that, unfortunately, culminated in Zodiac's obliteration.
Yeah, that did happen. That was a whoopsie. Mm-hmm.
Acutely aware of the imminent crisis, your parents sent you little ones on ahead while they began the necessary preparations.
Living Way needs a little update on the current life form situation.
Still not following?
Oh no!
No? Very well. I shall elaborate further.
Living Way is like, you're babies, so you don't know what's happening. I should explain to you like you are babies, which you are. Whoa!
Here,
Fancy!
we have Aetherius, your home, and the moon, where we are now.
Ooh. Are we gonna maybe get some answers about the bigger
Without
universe?
Zodiac around to keep things lively, so to speak, the celestial currents of the star have doubtless begun to degrade.
Okay, so it does seem like they are pushing this almost directly onto those currents.
A calamity of apocalyptic proportions will be visited upon Aetherius, bringing an end to all life.
Thank you, the city of Chicago, for adding that little accompaniment with the siren going by in the distance.
So too hath the Watcher claimed. By thine unperturbed countenance, I gather this eventuality was anticipated.
It's a backup. It's a backup plan.
Boom. Oh yes, quite expected. Imagine, if you will, that Aetherius is a delicious carrot that I've forgotten to eat and left out in the midday sun.
Yes, build on this metaphor. I would like to hear more.
The most earnest wishes or prayers will not stop it from rotting to the core. So sadly, there's nothing to be done but to abandon said carrot, Aetherius, in case the metaphor is lost on you, to its grisly fate.
Oh, I think there's something that can be
And this moon
done.
will serve as the vessel to deliver us to a new home.
Just so! We will gather up as many people, supplies, and resources as our stores will hold.
In theory, except for the fact that Charlene has been keeping it from everybody and doesn't seem inclined to open it up to anyone outside of their own nation.
Aboard, it's off to another star. Easier said than done, admittedly. For one does not simply hop from star to star.
And what about
on
all of
whim,
the other
which
reflections?
is precisely why we've spent countless years constructing the most propulsive of propulsion systems. We ought to make it to our destination in two shakes of a rabbit's tail.
I really love the rabbit puns, metaphors, and or the fact that this tiny little Bun Bun is explaining to us about blasting off into space.
Impressive technology. I dare say it is beyond anything we have ever seen.
I wonder if it's possible that part of the pact that Hydaelyn made with Midgardstormer was that if eventually the star had to be vacated, right, the dragons who had already traveled between worlds would likewise, like, agree to accompany and protect the people. Especially if, oh my gosh, it would probably mean Hydaelyn's demise, right? If she really is contained in the planet and she sends everybody away from her, the planet gets corrupted or falls apart. Aww.
No need to shower us with praise. All we've done is faithfully carry out the instructions left to us by Hydaelyn. Back in the old days, when she was still just Venar, she was dedicated to the study of the world and its inner workings.
Oh, yeah, it is her heart. I mean, we knew, but again, it's nice just to have them, like, very clearly say, here is the thing.
The real one, not the simulacrum you met was one of her fellow researchers. We and this wondrous vessel masquerading as a moon are products of their knowledge and know-how.
Which may have also been part of the reason that Vina, no T, that Vina was chosen to become the Heart of Hydaelyn if she were able to safeguard the future or had this knowledge that would also go into the primal and be able to be executed on a large
certainly more to you all
scale.
than meets the eye. Might I ask where exactly you intend to take us?
We identified a few promising candidates for resettlement some time ago, but we cannot
This
guarantee
one's
that they are fit
voice.
for habitation.
It's perfect!
Moreover, the ship can only travel in short bursts. We intend to go down our list, hopping from star to star, until we find one suitable for resettlement.
I mean, they are canonically expanding the universe in a very specific way, right? The idea that there are many stars, there are many places.
No need to worry, though. The vessel is being refurbished with accommodation for an extended stay as we speak. While we did have to rely upon outside help to determine what amenities were essential, I dare say we have risen to the challenge.
Outside help? Charlian, right?
From who?
Charlian, Thancred, you know. You know, put it all together.
Yours! Who else? Each time we woke to perform regularly scheduled maintenance, we were greeted by the resources you sent us. What better way to learn about preferences and proclivities of our present-day charges?
Yup, that's what I
But
thought.
you're still adorable little children. Perhaps your elders were responsible for the deliveries.
I mean, in a sense, yes. To some degree,
I'm not
yes.
sure what led you to conclude otherwise, but I can assure you that we are all grown men and women.
Thancred, you know what? You know what it is. You know about the Ancients. You literally just met the Watcher.
I very much doubt my elders know this place exists, much less how to send you so much as a starlight missive.
Thancred isn't...
What?
Look.
Then who in blazes let you on my moon?
Here's the thing. Like, Thancred is an Archon, right? But in stealth and stuff, he didn't get it so much for the advanced concept thinking and theorizing. he's smart. He's street smart. He's got, you know, wisdom, not int stat. That's where he dubbed all his points in.
Hydaelyn herself led you here.
Yeah, hey, it's me, Hydaelyn's chosen,
You don't say. Really? Not children? Then why are you so
Really
sorry
not
about
children.
it? Like
Really.
little baby carrot people.
Well, we are just little baby carrot people. That's what we all are in this
While
world.
Amarantines were a great deal taller. In the present day, persons of such prodigious size are exceedingly rare.
See, and Ishtola got that good int.
So, you're saying everyone's not like the Watcher?
Yes, correct. You have some calculations will need to be redone for sizing and accommodation.
Found it all! Someone could have at least scribbled a note about your profound miniaturization.
The book that has been pulled
That
out.
tome in thy possession.
I was gonna say, Charlian of Make?
This, one of the first books sent to us. A compendium of the people of Atheris, with a few blank pages at the back for minor corrections and updates as needed.
Are they going to actually make the lore books canonical in the world of Final Fantasy XIV? Pretend like they are the books that were sent to the Loporrits?
The sum total of our knowledge of your kind is contained in these pages. I thought it was abridged and made small for our benefit, but this isn't a regular-sized book, is it?
Yeah, that's a regular book, friend. The miscommunication. Excellent. Living Wig. Shh, shh, shh. Hey. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright. Calm down, Fred. Calm down. It's alright. At least there's more room rather than less
Can you
room.
hear me? Yes, we're all very busy. Change of plans. I need you to rebuild the domiciles at 1/3 the scale.
Oh my gosh.
All of them. Yes, all of them.
We can live in a gigantic hall. It's fine.
All speed.
if there's huge beds, we'll just fit like 20 of us in them. We'll just all sleep together in a big dog pile. It'll be fine.
Perhaps you could tell us a bit more about your terrestrial collaborators.
Oh, we know who it is.
Time. But first, I'd
Just
like to
tell
hear
me.
more about you, if it's all the same. I'd
Just
rather
tell
not
me, you
risk
adorable
another
little
complication
rabbit.
Due to outdated knowledge of our passengers to be.
We will give the requisite knowledge, but then you will give us what we want. You small stunted carrot. We're all stunted carrots here. Na na. Oh, this is very good. We got our Phrygian gear. Let's take a look at it. Oh, and I got a Phrygian weapon coffer. Oh yeah, it's just, I was looking at these on the moon. They're recolored, which is nice. I mean, dyeable and has a slightly different color scheme if that's something you need or want, based off of the previous gear. I was kind of hoping again that we might get some unique gear in these, but that's all right. It is nice to have slightly different options, especially with certain, you know, fabric things or metal things not being able to be dyeable. Oh dear, I certainly hope we can complete the renovations before more guests arrive. Or perhaps he should leave them as they are. That way you have more space to lounge about. I did my best on that one. The voice is very good and distinctive. Right then, now that you're here, we need you to teach us all you can about your people, and quickly. It won't be long before the final days are upon us in all their terrible grandeur, so it is imperative that we be prepared to receive our passengers to be. If there's anything at all that may displease them, it must be addressed post-haste, and address it we shall. Here at Bestway Borough, we have assembled everything required to offer our guests the best way forward. We've produced myriad amenities we understand to be essential for day-to-day living, and I wish to hear your opinions on them. I'm sure you've all worked up an appetite, so why don't we start with the foodstuffs? Meet me at the Caratorium, and we'll see about filling your bellies. Fred, I gotta tell you right now, if it's just carrots, we might need some other things.